Whoa, now there, y'all. It's been a while. Did you miss me? It's your man's and them file shot and reporting on the Bamboozle Getting News Network, where they try to bamboozle a Negro every day, B. And this video will be titled. An old school player told me this back in this probably like 2011, 2012, and I understood what he was saying, but in light of the Shannon Sharpe, situation, to a greater epiphany of understanding and application, yo, it's so wacky, wild Kool-Aid style here in Babylon. This has become the new norm, but when you sit back and think about it, this is dastardly work, yo. The juice, more oftentimes than not, is just not worth the squeeze, yo. And I get it, the Matrix has to kind of tantalize you with, a painted grave that look good on the outside, but its insides are dead, you know what I'm saying? But they said, me personally, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing to take away from the man's work that he's put in. He's probably made more money in the media. Well, I know he's made more money in the media aspect than he did, in football and been able to transition. I commend the man for that. Now, I got my personal articulations as far as, what I'm trying to say, right? But that's beside the point, right? But even with that being said, it's just, to me personally speaking, it's crazy how something natural such as just having interaction, whatever that may be, with the opposite sex, has become such a liability and dangerous to your good name, to your reputation, to the potential, to the work you put in for decades. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then they call it intimacy for a reason, because it's supposed to be between you and the other person. But now, as we see through the lens of social media, and I'm privy to this in a small town from people I personally know, where intimate details just get instantly shared for whatever the person's ulterior motives and agendas that were lying dormant the whole time. At no point in time do I think she had that play in her altogether. Like I said, the mask be slipping off quick with these folks. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, and then she thought about it, oh, let me expose this. She had lined that up the whole time and just waited for the opportune time. I believe he's ready to sign a new deal that could potentially be worth 100 mil. You know what I'm saying? To get to that man's sweet potato. Yo, that's crazy, yo. Like I said this in previous videos. These new Babylonian women, and it's been this. I think brothers are just waking up now because of the plethora of information and news that come out. All they truly want is meat and money, yo. Now they might want to get married, but they don't want to be a wife or the duty to come with that. You know what I'm saying? I think more so now than maybe saying our grandparents or parents' time, right? I think men see the necessity or the value of family. But it's so crazy how now the woman was typically in those days more inclined to, fantasize about the marriage day and having a family, and that attaches to my value as a woman, that I have a family. That's obliterated now, Jack. You know what I'm talking about? It's a sad sight to see, bro. And then, you got to cover your six. Now I see why the brothers be talking about making them sign NDAs when they get jiggy with them and all that. It's sad, Mo. Sad. I feel bad for the young stunners who coming up in the game, who might not have had, let's say, the grandparents who had, the 50-year-old marriage. From their perspective, all these women are harlots. And technically, if you're dealing with a harlot, you're gonna have to treat her as such. Because if you treat her like you treat a wife, you ready to get your hind part handed to you, or just try to be, just cordial and respectful. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming almost I think brothers now are just choosing peace over punani, yo. That's crazy. But they have to do that out of necessity for survival purposes. You understand me? Yo, it's so crazy. And she called herself, I guess, releasing audio of Shannon saying he wanted to choke or whatever. Or whatever the case. But then he turned around, counter-tactics. Shout out to him. You got to have some counter-tactics, a la like me. In case they spin the block on you, you already armed up, just in case. You know what I'm saying? In wisdom, you feel me? And he released where she says she want a big black baby, and, you know what I'm saying? Woo-woo, I think something about, I can't wait for you to suplex me or something. So when she made these articulations about being choked, she liked that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's be totally frank and honest, yo. People likes what they likes. Segue me, please, just to be transparent. When I told, what was that, Friday? I told y'all when I made it live and I bounced and I seen the head monster. Now, mind you, I ain't dealt with the head monster in 15 years, right? And the only skill she had was alludes to her name, right? But if you saw text messages between us, you'd be blown away. But they was with all that, you know what I'm saying? Look, case in point, right? So we had dealt with each other, we used to work together, which I wouldn't advise you deal with a woman you work with. I don't know no better. Live and you learn, right? So I stayed over there, whatever. Boom, splat. Then I went back over there the next day, but we had worked like 12 hours at the plant we was working at, right? So we chop it up, woo to woo. I go sweet. You know what I'm saying? I was tired, boss. So I wake up next morning, put my boots on, go back to work. You feel me? And I look over, and she got the ice grill on. So I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you? As I'm putting my boots on, Shawty slaps me, cuz. Yeah, the toothless wonder has been slapped. And it had like a little sting on the back. I said, oh, out of just sheer reaction, I palmed her face like Michael Jordan palmed a basketball, yo. I got to move that joint around like I'm ready to shake the defender, right? Like, yo, Shawty, what you doing? Don't you add woo, 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 right? Bounce out. I'm hot. Yo, I ain't never been slapped. I'm kind of feeling some type of way. So my department get there first. Her department comes in maybe an hour or two after ours. So when she get to work, she texts me and say, I'm sorry about slapping you. I just wanted to make you mad enough to get jiggy with me. You know what I'm saying? There are and that was kind of to be totally honest, forgive me, y'all. It's Calvin, this ain't spiritual. Keeping it real is spiritual. So you can understand the game you playing and who you dealing with, right? So, how do I word this? Well, being too graphic. We used to make monkey love, I put it that way. You know what I'm saying? The suplexing, the just being completely dominated. Then she told me out the fact, oh, I've always fantasized. I'm pretty sure most women, to some degree, if there's a man they like, want to or desire to be dominated sexually by a man they desire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm drinking and doing all that, so I'm getting off on all this. I'm styling on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm inventing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the dresser, you know what I mean? And all that type of crazy stuff. It was great. But then to turn around and then expose these said things that you like to make it seem like you don't like it, it's crazy. Oh, text message say, oh, you suplexed me. Yeah, I suplexed you 48 times. What is you talking about? If you ain't like being suplexed the first time, how do you get suplexed on the mattress 47 times after that and now just saying something? Come on, we got to use some wisdom with this stuff here, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess all you can do, like the brother say on here, most high first, yourself, your health, your wealth. Anything that could potentially be a liability to that in my personal life, I gets gone. I only, they say shoot first, ask questions later. I leave and then figure out did I do it the right thing. You know what I'm saying? After I'm already gone. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand the brother who would put in work for years in their respective crafts or overcome obstacles or personal issues. Man, it make you feel some type of way to lose all that or have it negated by the accusations of a Babylonian harlot, yo. You know what I'm saying? For real, on phone now, man, it's crazy out there. And we see it all over the place. I talk about Marcus Houston. He calls himself go get the young jump. That don't work. You get somebody your age, that don't work. You go to another race here in Babylon, it might be a little better, but that don't work. You know what I'm saying? That's why brothers is flying way across the Milky Way galaxy to try to find another entity that maybe is groomed in a certain culture where they still honor and respect men and have a desire for family. In this individualistic culture, everyone is potentially a stepping stone to get to where you want to be. That's why we now have backdoor culture in the community. How we street dudes uphold a street law, but then backdoor our friends. Because the law or the law that governs us isn't applicable. It's not in our hearts. What's really in our hearts, as the word says, is being lovers of money, lovers of ourselves, truce breakers, cool, harsh, so on and so forth. This is just the word playing out in real time with someone who, we know because of, celebrity status and so on and so forth. But it happens every day, big. It happens in your city where you live at. In the small town where I live at. How they say on that one album, you hear about it, you read about it every day. The crime rate, the murder rate, the paper chase. And on that note, I gotta get back to work. I'm on my lunch break. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. One love, baby. Cover your six out here. Watch out there now. The juice not worth the squeeze. Ooh, ah!